If you're looking to buy a robot vacuum and you buy the wrong one, you waste your money, you don't save time, and you end up with a piece of tech that constantly needs attention. I've bought 3 of these with my own money to figure this out the hard way so you don't have to. First of all, budget robots are way more hands-on than you think. With the cheaper models, you're doing a lot of the work yourself. You're emptying the dustbin manually, sometimes after every single clean. This budget one, for example, only vacuums, it doesn't mop. And sometimes it picks up stuff that you don't want it to, so you're constantly stepping in to fix what it's done. So if you want to set it and forget it, then a budget robot might not always be the one to get. And if a robot doesn't have proper mapping, it's basically cleaning blindfolded. It bumps around randomly, changes direction, hopes for the best, and eventually it can give up when the battery runs low. And if you've got multiple rooms, you don't even know it's actually cleaned them all, and sometimes it doesn't even make it back to the charger. So with something like that, you're not relying on automation, you're relying on luck. If you want to press one button and trust that it's done the job, you need proper mapping. Proper mapping means it can clean methodically, it can get back to the charger every time and be sent to specific rooms or zones. If you like this straightforward real-life look at tech, then remember to hit subscribe because I've got a lot of videos coming up that are going to show you how to save time with these and not create more work. If a robot doesn't have specific obstacle avoidance cameras or sensors, you become the obstacle avoidance system. That means picking up socks, cables and loose fabric because otherwise it will get tangled and it will stop halfway through a clean. And even with the expensive robots, there's still a bit of babysitting at the start to learn what it can and can't deal with. Good obstacle avoidance though is the difference between a helpful robot and a robot toddler. The maintenance also never really disappears, even with the robots that have got anti-tangling or detangling features. The brushes do occasionally still need attention. Hair builds up, brushes need checking, and sensors get dusty. It hasn't stopped any of mine cleaning, but it is a weekly job that doesn't really get mentioned in any of the reviews. So you have to clean the cleaner and the cleaning station. Of course, it's not a deal breaker, but expect 5 to 10 minutes of maintenance every week to stay on top of it. This is a big one. I wish I knew how good the mid-range robot vacuums are compared to the budget range. For most people, you absolutely don't need the $1,000 models. But stepping up from budget to mid-range, that extra couple of £100 makes a massive difference. You get better mapping, better navigation, mopping and vacuuming, and far less frustration. And that's where robot vacuums stop feeling like a novelty toy and start actually saving you time. A quick note though on some of these mid-range robots that mop. This one has a dual rotating mopping system underneath, but what it doesn't do is carry its own water. So these get soaked back at the base station, but because there's no onboard water tank, then the mop heads eventually run dry. Go up another level again and you have this one with a roller and an onboard water tank, so the roller constantly gets sprayed with fresh water. So if you care about proper mopping or you have a large area to clean, then you might want to consider skipping the rotating soaked pad style and go for a roller with an onboard water tank that's constantly feeding it fresh water. One thing that's overlooked but very obvious is the fact that these robots don't climb stairs, so carrying them up and down stairs every other day gets a bit tedious. Plus upstairs is usually carpeted anyway, so you might not even need the mopping features up there. That's why some people, including us, end up with more than one robot, which sounds excessive until you realise you never have to carry these up and down the stairs again. Talking about carpets, on some carpets they actually clean really well, but they leave tracks and circles everywhere. So if you love that smooth, just vacuumed look, then this might really annoy you. The real shocker here though is when this self-empties back at the charge station. This sounds like a jet engine for about 15 seconds, and you definitely couldn't have this running if you're on a Zoom call or if you've got a baby sleeping. And it's also fairly noisy when it washes its mops in preparation for cleaning. It's not a deal breaker, and I do love the feature, but it is a serious placement decision that you need to think about. Even with all the negatives I've mentioned about these, I do wish that I'd bought one of these sooner. They aren't perfect, they aren't magic, but they do save so much time. And yes, we now have 3 robots in the house. And if you want to know why we have 3 and if that's overkill, then that is my next video. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it.